right now. Today is the day that you choose to change the rest of your life. It is time to turn your setback into the greatest comeback story ever told, and nobody is more capable than you. This is the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast, the future #1 weight loss podcast in the world. I am your host, Donato Russo. I hope you enjoy the show today. If this is your first time here and you enjoy the show, please subscribe and spread the word of the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast wherever you are and to whomever will listen. If you'd like to connect on social media or wherever else, check out my Linktree page, Linktree/the Ranting Weight Watcher. Let's connect today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 186 of the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you to the show. If you enjoy it, I'd ask that you please consider subscribing. If the app that you're using to listen to the show allows you to leave a review or a rating, please consider leaving a 4-star or 5-star rating. And if you can, write a review about the podcast. What happens when you do this is it updates an algorithm. So if somebody is using the same app as you, is looking for a weight loss podcast, the Ranting Weight Watcher just scoots up a little higher on that list as a recommended item because of your rating and because of your reviews. One of the best things you can do to support this podcast is literally tell anyone who will listen about the podcast. If you know they're in the same position we're in, if you know they would benefit from the same message I deliver week after week, and it would help them become healthy and strong mentally for their health and weight loss journey, tell them about the show. Show them how to find it. Give them the app name. Take them to the show so they can know how to find me. I want to give a special thanks to all of the financial supporters of the show. I thank you so much for thinking that the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast is worthy of investment with your hard-earned money. Now, I have a special episode planned. Let's get into this! Journey updates. I am up this week. Another pound up. So over 3 weeks' time, it's a total of 2 pounds gained. Total loss since January 2019 is 181 pounds. The goal for the coming week is going to be to work on how to bring calories down on days that I eat red meat for dinner. That has been the struggle here so far. On days that I eat red meat for dinner, it has been upwards of 2,500 or 2,600 calories. Now, if you remember a year ago, when I was starting the macro journey, that's where I was at baseline. When I was just maintaining weight, I was there. So if I stay on this trajectory, I'll go back to minus 150 at this rate if I stay at 2,600 calories. So effort is being put into cutting down the calories on days that I eat red meat because I need to get them closer to what they were before, which is between 2,150 and 2,250. So that is the goal, and to use less salt on the meat because I've been overcompensating with salt due to some ideas that I'm not absorbing the water that I'm drinking and I need electrolytes. So rather than experiment with salt, I just decided to buy electrolytes, introduce it as part of my daily intake once a day for 30 days to see if the headache symptoms are gone. If at the end of the 30 days I don't have any headaches, then you know what? I'll have to deal with maybe trying to come up with my own recipe to make my own electrolytes because I don't want to depend on buying mass manufactured electrolytes. I have an exciting episode planned for today. A special guest, her name is Brenda. She is coming on the show. And so let's get started right now. Hi, Brenda. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Donato. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 61. I live in Warren County, New Jersey. I'm married. It'll be 43 years this month. I have two adult children, a daughter and a son.
You are also on Weight Watchers, correct?
Oh, yes.
All right, you want to tell us about how your whole weight loss journey has from start to finish? Tell us a little bit of all.
Well, I'll tell you how my weight, started on me. It started when I was really young, about 10 years old. My mother had left us at our grandparents to raise. I never knew her. And one day she came by and said that she was our mom. I never even heard of that word before. I thought, okay, you're my mom. Then we didn't see her until I was 9, and she took us away. And my grandfather said, yeah, Brenda's old enough to babysit now. I didn't even know what that meant. We never had a babysitter. So she took us, and she had two other kids that I had to raise. I had to learn how to do bottles and diapers, and she would go to the bars, and she would bring home these men, and they would try to do things to me. So I thought, how can I get men to stop doing these things to me? And I thought, I know they don't like fat people. So I thought, I'll make myself fat. So that's what I did. Food became my friend, and it provided a safety type of mechanism for me. It made me feel good. It made me fat. And I thought the abuse would stop, but it didn't. It didn't stop. My mom was always on a diet. I would see her go on the scale multiple times a day. And I thought, what is with this scale thing, So then I started doing it. We were always on diets. If she was on a diet, we were on a diet. And it would be like boiled chicken breast or boiled thighs, green beans out of a can. I said, geez, here we go. And so that started my yo-yo dieting up until my teens. And in high school, I was made fun of. I was a little bigger in the thigh area, so they would call me Thunder Thighs in school. And my last name was not a good last name because it was a brand of beans that was sold in the store. So they would make these noises that beans happened to do. And it wasn't fun for me. I thought, how can I get this weight off me now? I mean, it didn't work to keep the men away. So constantly on diets, and Oprah was a big thing back then too, when she lost all her weight and brought it out on stage in the wheel in the barrel, not the barrel, the wagon. And she got this stuff at the drugstore, and it was this red liquid you drank. I never drank it, but I watched her do it. Then we would do like Dexatrim, and then we would do those little candies. They were called aids that you chewed with coffee or tea. And it was just so many diets we were on.
This was at
And
your teenage years, or where are we now?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm about maybe 13, 13, 14. I mean, it was all through my childhood, like dieting. And I thought, I don't think I would have had a weight problem if it wasn't for that, because when I lived with my grandparents until I was 9, I was thin until I went with her, and with the sexual abuse and all that. That was that. The yo-yo dieting is what really put the weight on me. So let's see. I married my husband at 18, so I was away from all that. Having pregnancies. With my daughter, I gained 64 pounds, and it was really hard to get back off. And then I got to be like maybe 364 pounds. And my daughter was 5 then. And I remember we all went to the zoo in the Bronx, and I could not walk really to keep up. And I thought, I have to do something. I have to get this off me. It's killing me. There's no purpose for this weight anymore. It's not keeping me safe. It's hurting me. And so a few of my friends I noticed were losing weight. And I asked them how they were doing, and they said Weight Watchers. So I thought, okay, where's Weight Watchers around me? So the local one was about maybe 5 miles away. I didn't drive, so I had to find friends to join with me to get there. And I did. I found them, and my leader was awesome. It was in the year 2000 that I finally joined Weight Watchers. I was really down about it when I found out how much I weighed. It was 364. And she said, don't worry. She said, you can do this. I believe in you. And nobody really said that to me before, that they believed me. I thought, why does she believe in me? I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. So I did really well. The first year, I lost 110. Then the second year, I lost about 150. And then I started to get really sick. I thought, what is wrong with me? I felt like my insides were on fire. I go finally to the hospital. They show me the x-ray, and there was this really big black spot in my abdomen. He says to me, you better get to the doctor really, right away. I said, I'm at the hospital. What do you mean get to my doctor? What's wrong? And they wouldn't tell me. I thought, I'm at the hospital and you're not going to tell me what's wrong? So they gave me a card with the specialist, and I went to him, and I had a colonoscopy. I was bleeding inside. It was internally bleeding. And here it was from the high fiber diet. They did the colonoscopy and they said I had colitis. So the doctor's telling me everything I can't have. I said, well, just tell me what I can have and I can work with that. So it was like a really bland diet, really like chicken broth and saltine crackers and green beans out of a can and carrots out of a can. I thought, oh. So I did that for quite a while. And once I finally got better, I rejoined Weight Watchers. I had to get like maybe 46 back off. And I was there a few months and then I got sick again. I thought, what is going on now? Then I had found out I had lung cancer. I thought, oh boy,
Wow.
lung cancer. I gained a lot of weight. I gained it all plus more.
What year at this point is this?
I want to say 2012.
Okay.
And my friend was a she was studying to be a homeopathic practitioner. And when she was licensed and everything, I started going to her and she did cure my cancer and it came back a little and she cured it again. It only took me a few months to cure it. So I was really happy about that. But I was still having a lot of issues with my lungs of breathing and moving around. So I couldn't really exercise and move too much because with my body, I need to exercise to burn. I can't just eat healthy and not do anything or it won't really go anywhere for some reason. That's how I am. And then I just found out yesterday she died. My I've been going to her and been her friend for like 27 years now. And I found out yesterday that she died.
Sorry to hear
I'm sorry. That was really, I couldn't even sleep last night. I've been up since like 2 in the morning. So after that was done and I got to move around better, I rejoined it was March 25th of 2019. And my leader was still there. I always kept in touch with her because she became a good friends with me. Her name is Anne. I went back and when I got on that scale, it said 385 pounds. I thought, oh my goodness, this is terrible. How am I going to get this? I'm almost 400 pounds. I thought I weigh more than some of these football players. What am I going to do? And Anne said, Brenda, you did it before. You can do it again. She goes, don't look at the big number. She goes, I told you before when you came in here, you do not look at the big number. Take little, even if you got to do it pound by pound, ounce by ounce, you will get there. I said, okay, all right. The first year I lost, I think it was 95 pounds. It was coming off slower. And then the second year I had taken off, I think it was 102, maybe. It was very slow going. And then when they changed the plan from the color ones and went to this one we're on now, I've been having such a hard time like getting it off. The last 3 years, I was going up and down with the same like 5 to 10 pounds. I thought, what is going on? When I joined the second time, when I weighed 385, that's when they had the app on the phone. And she stayed after and showed me how to do things. She goes, just keep messing when you'll get the hang of it. Well, so many of the older people were dropping out of our class because they were no longer having the calculators and the papers and I thought, oh no. And I became such good friends with them. I mean, even from the last time when I joined, I thought that they don't want to do this. And I thought, this is sad. I said, why can't they both have, what they want to do it the way they want to do it and still come to the meetings? We need them. And then COVID hit. I thought, oh, here we go. I thought maybe Weight Watchers was going to go out of business. I really did. But I still do virtual meetings every Friday morning. And I quit going over here though, because I was being charged like $52 a month over here because it's one of the few franchises that are left. There's 7, I think, in our country. And there's one right by me that is one of the franchises, and they get to charge what they want because it's privately owned.
I got you.
So I thought, I can't see paying $52 when I'm hardly ever getting to the meeting because I would have to run my daughter to work. Or if I wasn't able to make it that day, they didn't have the meeting day anymore. I was going to on Mondays. It was only Tuesday and Saturday. And I thought, I just can't do those days. I paid 5 years, doing it that way, not really going, but doing my virtual. I thought, well, you know what? I'll cancel. I'll stop going to my meeting. I'll just do virtual. And I pay the cheap price online. I pay like $10 or whatever the special is a month. So that's what I've been doing. But these last few years, I've been struggling until I saw you.
Wait, okay, that's what I was going to ask you. When you switched over to the virtuals, can you remember how you found me or how you found the podcast or anything?
Yeah, it was only about 2 months ago, I think I found you, or maybe 3. I was on Connect. I usually go on there every day. And when you scroll through the page, I came across your walking video. I thought, okay, sometimes, I'll listen to a person or whatever and see and I thought, oh my goodness, this guy is awesome. And I thought, oh my gosh. And I thought, I have to, and you mentioned about the podcast. Right away, I went to the podcast. I thought, well, I want to start at the first one and work my way up. And I seen all these, it was like up to like 179 by then. I thought, oh no. So I listened to the first one and I was just hooked after that. I thought, oh, every morning I listen to at least 2 or sometimes even 5. I listened to 5 in one day. And because I'll sit there and pedal my bike and I'm listening to you as I'm pedaling. I thought, woo, and then time flew because I'm just listening to you. And you were like the male version of me. I thought he tells it like it is. He struggles just like me. Well, like all of us, struggle, but I just liked your style and you like to do research. I love research. I research everything. You can't just tell me something because I want to find out if that's true. And other things that don't seem to work. And I thought, there's something wrong here. I'm going to go find, like with my thyroid, I've been doing research about that. And I found out that there's certain foods that interrupt the hormone in the thyroid that are my favorite vegetables. I thought, you're kidding me. I love broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cabbage. And then peaches and strawberries, they all interfere with the hormone in your thyroid. I thought, oh my goodness. I thought, well, I'm going to stop having these veggies for a while and see what happens.
Was it so to the point where you were on like thyroid medication?
I used to be a long time ago, but the side effects was killing. I didn't like them. I was getting the shakes. First it would be too much hormone, and then I was shaking, and then they had to lower it, and I didn't feel. I thought, I'm just going off it.
But
so
that
I was doing
it way before you discovered
that was way
vegetable.
Before Weight Watchers. Yeah, that was way before Weight Watchers. It was just I just can't seem to take medicines. My body just doesn't react to medicines well. So I still went to my homeopathic doctor's natural remedies for the thyroid. But I didn't know about some of those vegetables that interfered with that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought, okay.
It's crazy.
I didn't know that.
We're going to take a break. Don't go anywhere. I now present to you the Ranting Weight Watcher Accountability Creed. If you choose this day to say this creed, you are accountable to me, the author. You are also accountable to all of those before you who have taken the creed, and all of those after you who will take the creed. But most of all, you are accountable to yourself. Now recite with me the Accountability Creed. Nothing can stand in my way because I choose to be unstoppable. My challenges crumble in my presence because I choose strength when I am weak. My insecurities have no power over my life because I choose confidence in the face of fear. I own every last one of my mistakes because I choose growth over mediocrity. The mirror and the scale are powerless because I move forward in spite of the result. Circumstances are not obstacles because I see solutions instead of problems. The demons of my past can no longer torment me because I choose to renew my mind daily. All things are possible as long as I believe, because if God is for me, who can be against me? This is the creed I declare each day. It is about what I do, not what I say. I will learn the work that needs to be done. I will never stop, even when I've won. I will work consistently, no matter the cost. I refuse to believe that all hope is lost. I will work when I want to. I will work when I don't. I will work when they are cheering. I will work when they won't. I will work when it's easy. I will work when it's hard. The atonements that I've made are made with no regard. I will work when it's cold. I will work when it's hot, because choices have consequences, justified or not. When I think I know it all, I will start back at one, because regardless of what I think, the work is never done. And from this moment forward, when times are tough, I choose to believe that I am enough. And we are back. Thanks for sticking with me. Recently, you had made some changes because you had been struggling, and you made some changes. Was that because of the podcast you made those changes?
Yeah, when you mentioned the book, Unlock Your Macro Type, and you had her on recently on your podcast, I got the book, and you said, yeah, you got the book and you put it on a shelf for a year. I've done that already before too. I thought, see, he does that too. And when I finally think, it's about time to read this book, and I did. And it was very, very interesting. I've been following it for 2 weeks. Last week, I lost 2.2. Today, it was my weigh-in. I lost 4.6. I thought, I'm finally back to my lowest now. I am. It took me so long to get back there. I thought, okay, this is it. This is it. And I always had trouble with carbs, always. And I thought, okay, I'll just stay away from the white ones, the pasta, the rice, the breads. But that wasn't really working all that much. And I heard you say an apple was 35 grams of carbohydrates. I thought, you got to be kidding me. I didn't even think about that. Because you're thinking, okay, I'll switch out the snacks for my fruits, and I heard you say you were having quite a few fruits. And I thought, all right, well, I was having like those big mandarins, the Satsuma mandarins.
Right.
They were so good. And I'd have apples, and I still wasn't getting anywhere. I thought, oh my goodness, that's my problem. So I downloaded the app that keeps track of the macros. And ever since I've done that, I've been it's been really, really good.
Do you remember which macro type? Did it say, was it like protein dominant or fat dominant?
Yeah, I'm like in between number 4 and 5. I fit in the protein and high fat one.
Okay.
But mostly number 5 with the insulin resistant one. And I'm an endomorph.
So when you found out, tell me a little bit about when you found out what your macro type was, you saw how you were supposed to eat. First of all, what was the initial reaction to say you should be eating high fat? What was that like?
I was shocked. I thought, oh my goodness. Now, I know there's good fats. I do use olive oil, but it's very high in points. And I thought, oh boy. But I thought, well, now I've been incorporating my avocado. I've been incorporating that, and also some avocado oils and my olive oil when cooking or on my salad or whatever. And let me tell you, just by doing that, I felt so much better. I've been getting these wraps. They were called Egg Life. Those egg
I've heard
wraps.
of them. Yes.
They're really good. So I slicing up my avocado on there, and I put a tablespoon of tzatziki
Yeah.
dip on it,
Uh-huh.
and that just I wasn't even hungry for lunchtime. I thought this is really crazy. And me and my husband, because he eats what I eat, what I make him. So we have like steak in the morning. We share a steak, and we have eggs with it. It
So
is such a
was
big
that your initial change, adding meat to the breakfast and everything?
Yeah, yeah. Well, usually I would just have eggs or something like that and cottage cheese. I love like leftover meatloaf for breakfast.
The first day you implemented like having meat at breakfast, how did you feel? Do you remember how you felt that day?
Like satisfied, and I felt really good inside. I didn't feel hungry for a long time, and I felt happy. I don't know what it was, a very strange feeling for me to have because I don't really feel that way. I remember going to the store with my daughter, and I talked to you about it. I said, I don't believe this. I said, my legs don't hurt because I have lymphedema, but it's not as bad as yours, but I do have it in my left arm and my leg. And we're walking in the store. I just felt so healthy that day. I felt happy and just energized. I said, oh, I wish I could just feel like this every day. And I said, it has to be this new way of that I'm eating and incorporating more protein and fats.
You mentioned you didn't have pain. Where did you used to have pain?
My legs.
So it was like the whole leg or joints or
Yeah, like my knees on down.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, the shins mainly. And I have restless leg syndrome. And at nighttime they would always jump and stuff. So I take magnesium still at nighttime before that. I don't know, maybe that's what really helped.
Have you introduced any, so is it just breakfast you concentrated on or have you branched it out at all throughout the day?
Oh, I have protein at every meal.
Oh, you do.
I
Okay.
always do. Oh
Okay.
yeah, I always did. I was always a protein eater.
Okay.
Not so much more on the fruit anymore. I mean, I still will have fruit like the berries that are lower in carbs, like the blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Sometimes I'll have the halos or the clementines. I still have fruit and veggies, but
Do you track in both apps now? In like a
yes,
macro? Oh, you do. So
yeah.
was there a point, because I know this happened to me, was there a point where you struggled based on the book? The book forces you to make choices that would be considered high points. Did you have trouble veering from the points to the macros for that reason? Was it like a struggle for you?
No, no, not really.
Okay.
I like using the macro. I use an app called My Net Diary, and
Okay.
I love how it's laid out. And it has everything that the Weight Watcher one does. It has the scanner, it has your exercise, your water intake, the tracker, and everything. It has everything really. I like it better, and even has a connect. They have their own. It's called a community page where
Okay.
people share their successes and stuff. But I love doing both of them. But a lot of people don't even like tracking alone with the Weight
Yeah, I
Watchers
know.
for
Yeah,
some
you're
reason.
right. You're
I,
right.
I told myself, I made a promise to myself to try. I haven't missed a day in all those years I've been to Weight Watchers. Never miss one day. Never.
I mean, with macros, it's especially important because you can track inaccurately and the macros are all inaccurate and you might
Yeah.
you're eating completely different than you say, right? And
Yeah.
it's
And I
almost
could
not even
be,
worth it.
I could have a bunch of points, let's see, left over in, like, say, maybe if I have 10 points left over in Weight Watchers, but at times I'll have almost all my calories in the other app. But
Hmm.
then there's times when I used all my points in Weight Watchers and they have a bunch of calories left over. It's
Absolutely.
like it switches,
Right.
it depends on what you're eating.
That's what happened to me too. I had a brief time where I had to say, listen, am I going to implement her theories or am I going to follow Weight Watchers? It was like a struggle between the two. So in the name of the experiment, I had to let go of one and
Yeah.
keep my eye on what was my goal here? What was I trying to learn about myself? And that's what I did. in the process. You just took the book and you said, I'm doing this and I don't care what happens with the points.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
great.
I still do both of them. I don't care what either one says. I mostly like doing the macros though, to see what, the levels, because it has like a little level bar under each one, how much you're allowed and so I do really well with that. I like
great.
it.
That's great. So right now, are you exactly where the book wants you to be for macros?
For the last 2 weeks I've been.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started really.
Just started. Okay. See, I took a while and I transitioned because I was so off the scales. Like I was so high that I was like, there's no way I can make this jump. There's no way. And I just slowly transitioned.
I had already cut back so much on my carbs anyway, so it wasn't really too hard. The one day I got down to 7 grams of carbohydrates, I thought, oh my God, that's awesome. But I haven't been that low in a while. It still kind of stays around the 20s. I'll take that. I didn't hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
my highest day of the week, it's like 29. And then lowest day could be 6 or 7, something like that. So it ranges. But to anyone who basically is intimidated, because I know this is something I thought, I was so intimidated by macros. For someone who has just implemented it 2 weeks ago, what would you say to anyone who's intimidated by it, or how do you feel about it now?
I don't think they should feel intimidated. I would tell them just to give it a try. Find a good app that keeps track of it for them, because it's easier that way. You just put in the food and it counts it for them. And you can kind of see, you would be shocked at some of the foods, what they have in it. I don't think it's hard at all. The app does it for you. Just to see, like, get an idea. They might think, because I thought I was doing well by cutting out all the carbs, Who knew? Oh my goodness, I was getting a lot of carbs in. Yeah, I had no idea. The apple was 35. I thought, you kidding me? That's my day's worth.
When you said you cut out the white carbs, were you eating fruit then too, or did you bring fruit in once you got cut out the white carbs?
Oh yeah, I had fruit every day, like maybe 3 or 4 times a day, either apples, strawberries, grapes, oranges, stuff like that, variety of things.
Now, one last question. If you can go back in time, and if you could sit next to yourself on the day that you started Weight Watchers, when you were filling out that paperwork, and you could say anything you wanted to the beginning, the day one, I'm going to do this version of you, knowing everything you struggled with, everything you got angry about, all of the things you know right now. What would you say to her to help her?
Food is not the answer to anything. It is fuel. That is it. It just keeps us alive. It keeps us healthy. It doesn't make you safe. It doesn't keep you safe. It doesn't help you with your problems. You're going to go through a lot of things in life. Everybody does, but it'll make you stronger in the end. I wouldn't be the person I am now without going through all that I did. It wasn't good. There'll be health struggles, other struggles. Everybody has them, but just keep at it and don't give up. You'll get there. Love yourself. You're not worthless. Believe in yourself.
Brenda, I want to thank you so much for coming on this show. If you guys are interested in following Brenda, she is on WW Connect. Her screen name is hippie-gypsy. 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 If there's one thing you absorb from this episode, is that out of all the years she spoke of, it's only in the last 2 weeks that she discovered that eating a certain way would cause her to become pain-free. What is it worth it to achieve a number on a scale if when you get there, all you discover is you still have a bunch of other health problems. Now, all of you thinking, Don, I'm getting older, things come with age. You know, we've been told that all our lives. But what if the things that come with age, what if we have been creating those health problems for decades upon decades upon decades of eating the way we've been eating all of this time? What if all of the stuff you've been working on to create the problem that caused you to be on a weight loss journey also contribute to every ailment you're going to have along with the weight loss journey? And what if, just what if, you can eat a certain way and end it all? What if you can learn that right now at the same time that you're trying to lose it? Why not? Why not learn it at the same time? Why not figure out the secrets to it all? Why not figure out, oh my God, the food that I put in my mouth is causing so much more problems than just the scale number? You say that I'm not defined by the scale, yet the food is causing more problems than the scale. And we listen to people in white coats tell us, oh, this comes with age. It only might come with age because we've been working at it for decades. And that's one thing I need you to absorb from this episode. All of those years that Brenda spoke of. In the last 2 weeks, she discovered what pain-free life feels like. And you know what? I can't convince you of it. She can't convince you of it. The only thing that will ever convince you of it is for you to try it. Eating a certain way and just long enough to discover how much pain you were actually in this entire time. But that's up to you. I can't convince you otherwise. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all.